Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou e Whakarongo mai nei ki tēnei o ngā hōtaka a Koniahi Kōrero. Kei te tuku ngā wakaaro nui ki rātou mākua wehe atu ki te pō. O tira ki tātou nei te hunga ora e takahi ana i ngā tapuai o ngā mātua tūpuna. Hoki anō ngā whakaaro ki ngā whānau e no o pani i tēnei wā koe nei te reo o aroha e tuku ana ki runga i a koutou katoa. Nā he mihi hoki mai i tēnei taunga o te maunga, te korimako o Taranaki, ko Te Aorangi tēnei, e me i kau atu ki koutou katoa. Nā, kei te kite koutou, e mātakitaki mai ana i tēnei pāpā o mataora, ki rungi i pukamata, kei te kite koutou, ko wai kei taku tā. Engari, ka tuku te rākau ki aia, ki Pounamu Skelton, ki te mihi atu ki koutou katoa, o tira ki te whakamoho atu ki te marea, ko wai tēnei e no o ki taku tā. Ana, e taku tuakana, ka tuku te rākau ki a koe e Pounamu, nau mai, haere mai.
Tēnā koe Te Aorangi, nō reira, tēnā koutou katoa. Ai, ka tukuna te mihi ki a koutou i tēnei ata. Nō reira, he moko punora hau o ngā iwi o Taranaki, ko Te Atiawa, me Taranaki, me Ngāti Ruanui, me ki, me Ngāti Raukawa ki te tonga. Ko Pounamu Skelton tōku ingoa, e noho ana hau kei whaitara, nō reira, ai, he tino hariko ki te noho ki tō taha, nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Tēnā koe e kare. Pai rawa te kiti tō kano I e mene mai ana ki rungi I tēnei pāpā o tanga. Awesome to see you today, Pounamu. And now, I always tell people to introduce themselves, but honestly, I mean, I feel like you're pretty well known around the place. You're a familiar kanoi, especially in regards to the kaupapa that we're about to talk about, which I'm looking really forward to hearing more about this. So for those of you who may have been either listening in yesterday or you may have seen the launch from Te Kahui or Taranaki, they've launched this awesome Mean As program. And for those of you who already know Pounamu, you know her skill set, you already know what she does. You've probably been a student, like I feel like all of us have been a student of Pounamu. I've interviewed people already and they were your students, or they've worked very closely with you to work on these programs that you've delivered over many years. Feeling a little bit very honoured at the moment, e hoa, to get this opportunity to interview you. And I want to talk to you about the kaupapa, Tātai Tāngata ki Te Whenua. I mean, it's in the name, really, isn't it? Mate, it's awesome. So, listen, I'm going to leave it up to you just to talk a little bit about that. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Ka pai. Well, totally excited to be here with you and to bring to the maunga about the new innovative initiative, I call it, that Te Kahui o Taranaki iwi has launched yesterday. Now, this is all about us getting back to our connection with Papa Tuanuku, and so putting the sovereignty back into kai. So we've come we're going back to where we came from, which is getting our hands back into the soil, and so that we can start to feed ourselves again. So over the last, year and a bit with this pandemic that's been going on, it's come to the forefront that actually we need to be able to take steps towards feeding ourselves. So this amazing opportunity, and I must mihi to Taranaki iwi for the innovation and the forward thinking to bring a program like this to their people. So this program's a 6-month Marakai program. We'll be hanging out together, and it's really to invigorate and bring the artistry back into Marakai, to growing food. So, it's like we're not that far along, like my parents grew food and my grandparents. So we haven't quite forgotten what to do yet. It's still in our DNA and it's still in our knowledge systems. So it's just reinvigorating the art form to grow kai again. And so, as you know, we've grown kai together.
Yes.
That, you know, if we can start with our whānau, I've always been about starting with whānau first to inspire them to grow their own food. So they've got their own pātaka in their backyard. Then we do a bit of kōrero in the kitchen, and we start to play around with some of your produce, make some beautiful nutritional dishes, and, you know, start to feed the whānau with good nutrient kai.
And just an opportunity too. So you're talking about, so you've got children yourself. So already before them, there's 2 generations of people who they can tangibly talk to, you know, physically they can have a conversation with these people. It's not just through pūrākau, I guess, you know, like for me, when I hear about my great kuia, you know, I can't talk to her about this. Even my grandmother, about the amount of kai that they grew through their lifetime, I guess. However, for your children, they have that opportunity to talk to either you or grandparents. So when you say it's not, we haven't quite forgotten yet. I mean, there's such a great message, because that's what can be lost on all of us, thinking it's like, oh, nah, you know, like it's gone. We haven't had the experience. So, yeah, kei te mihi au ki koutou o te iwi o Taranaki tūturu, kia whana I tēnei huarahi mō te iwi. And, you know, okay, so it's starting with you guys. However, this will have a ripple effect. It will have a ripple effect, hopefully, amongst all of us. Because another thing, whānau, for those of you who are listening in or for those of you who are watching, Pounamu's work is widespread. So, like she said, she has had a hand in all of us down here in the south. We all picked up a kaupapa from her, kai oranga, and we got a mara going, and lots of us have taken it back into our homes. So it's really exciting. But that was a physical classroom that we were in at the time. So that was one dynamic we were dealing with. You've already touched on the fact we're looking at COVID. You guys have seen what happened last year. It's motivated you all to do something different this year. So how are you going to deliver this at this point in time?
Yeah, so the doors are open at the moment, whānau. So you've got till the 29th of September to put your expressions of interest. So you do have to be Taranaki registered iwi. So I think you have to be over 18 to be registered. And we're encouraging just 1 mara per household. Okay, so the details will be in the comments on how to register your interest. So we're inviting our whānau who live not just in Taranaki, but across the whole of Aotearoa. So if you're sitting in Dunedin and you want to be connected closer to Te Kahui or Taranaki, and you want to have and you want to grow some kai, well, then this is your chance, because we're going to use our online forum to wrap or korowai the mātauranga. So I'm big on that, because it means we can touch more people. We can bring our people, we can connect our people back to our maunga through the airways, as you have all been doing. And we feel like we're in this together. We're not so isolated. If you happen to be living in Te Waipounamu or Ngāpui area, you know, we're actually all connecting, and it will be regular classes. I will follow the maramataka, as you see behind me, and we'll also follow the season, because that's where people get unstuck. They do things out of season and it doesn't quite work. Now, the thing with mara kai is it's great to make mistakes, because then you go, oh, let's think about this and let's try again. And usually the first season is trial and error. As you might know Te Aorangi, you know, you'll get a bit of kai, but you might make a lot of mistakes. And of course, you're starting to nourish the whenua, which might have been not been used for a while. So there's lots of little tricks and hacks to get your mara up to scratch. So I'm excited about the next season, what that looks like. This season's the whāriki. It's the start. It's getting people back into the habit of being outside, growing some kai that they can then eat, changing the palate. So people are coming off the sugars and all the addictions and then coming back to natural foods. Yeah, so I'm excited, not just about this season, but actually what's going to happen the following season.
See, that's that's another great point to pick up on too, the coming off the sugars and the addictions, right? So, we're not growing out, some people aren't growing their own kai, so they're buying it from the supermarket because that's where we're at. That's life at the moment for many. But you make a good point when you say we're coming off the sugars. So are we really aware of how much sugar is actually in our kai, even if it's got the healthy packaging? Like, is that where it's getting us?
Well, we need an awakening. And I'm day 15 of a plant-based cleanse. So coming off sugar, meat, alcohol, gluten, dairy, just about everything. And what it does, it brings up all your stuff. When you get stressed, where do you go? To the fridge. When we're at home a lot, where do we go? To the fridge or the cupboard. Like our emotions really hold us quite addicted to food. And because we're in this fast world, not a slow world, fast world, and we've got access to fast food, supermarkets all the time, then we've really come away from how our tupuna used to live. It used to be slowly and it used to be seasonally. And as this marama taka says behind me, there's a month for everything. What kai was dominant during that month, marama. So we're not going to go back to, hunting our kērero, but we are going to go back to what's natural. And as our body starts to shift out of fueling it for fire, for energy, because we're going so fast, then we'll be using more slowly digestible foods. So the energy spreads out over the whole day, like good old porridge, for example. It keeps you full till about 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, and it's actually logical. When you say it like that, it's like, oh my gosh, you can totally understand. And I guess the excitement for me listening to this right now is the thought of everyone who receives the mara, and however. So it could possibly be every registered member, or one per household, every registered household, let's say, within the Te Kahui or Taranaki, what am I going to say? I don't want to say registration, but whānau, who could possibly interact or engage in this kaupapa. So, I don't know how many people are registered, but that is a movement.
Yeah, well, you know me, Te Aorangi, we've got to have the food revolution.
I know you.
So I've been big on this for a while, and this is very innovative from an iwi to pick up this kaupapa. It's really thinking about the people and what's important. So mara kai it's not just about growing kai, it's about increasing health, because you're being more physical. Your whole whānau can participate. Like, it's a great thing to do with your tamariki. You're connecting to Te Taiao, because you'll actually start to be aware of the seasonal changes and the elements and the rain and the sun. And then it's really good for happiness. Like, this is so underrated. Gardening actually makes you happy. It's a really wonderful place to go in when you're a little stressed, or you've had a bit of a moment. It's and because of what it does, it slows you down, and you start to breathe deeper. So when we get more oxygen into our brains, we start to feel better. So actually, mara kai is a holistic health approach to living. So actually, I just want to say we do have limited spaces for this round. Yeah. So we won't be serving the whole of the iwi this round. So it is kind of not first and first serve, but actually, there will be limited spaces. I'll just say that much.
For the first round, e te whānau. There could possibly be more. But what a great initiative, and also picking up on the happiness factor. I mean, we all want to be happy, right? We just all need a little bit of happiness in our life.
We need lots of happiness.
And this is, and and of course, Māori, purposeful living, right? Of course, we would have been, this would have been part of our tupuna whakaaro all the way back. It wouldn't have just been about producing kai. It would have been rongoa in a sense as well. Can you expand on that if I'm on the right track?
Yeah, so for me, food is medicine. So he kai te rongoa, he rongo te kai. So it's purposeful. It's not just about, I'll just grow a few lettuces. It's like, yes, you will. However, there's a whole lot of other things that happen. And there's a difference between growing your own kai and getting it from the supermarket. And it's about nutritional value. So we'll teach you how to actually tiaki the whenua, the soil. So you can bring up the nutrients from the soil, which then go into the kai, which then you eat. So the trouble is when we buy something from the supermarket, someone else is growing it, possibly they've sprayed or they've used herbicides, and then it's been put in a storage, maybe a fridge, then it's been put on a truck, and then it gets to your supermarket, and then it's got these lights that are shining down on it. So by the time you get to it, is it really kai? Does it actually have any nutrition left? It's like we think we're doing right by having vegetables, but a lot of the goodness is gone. So let's just cut that out and do our own. And then we're really nourishing ourselves.
So do you think then, like picking up on that point too, would it be better to just grow? So when I think about what I'm going to grow, I know I can't kill silver beet. Like that's a proven thing for me. Many years of growing silver beet, it's a winner. I'm good at it, I think.
Right.
Same with rhubarb. I don't even really care for rhubarb, but I know it'll grow. Makes me feel good, cool. When I see success. And I'm good at growing a lettuce too. So is it better for me to just grow those? Because I know that I can do that, and there's good nutritional value in that kai because it's come from me. I haven't used any spray or anything like that. I know the soil where we're at our place in Normanby is so fertile, and it's already been rested for like a year before we've started to do anything on it. So yeah, technically, well, actually not technically, yeah.
It's superior kai.
I think that people get stuck talking from personal experience, I got stuck on feeling like I needed something different, I couldn't just grow one thing. I needed like a whole heap of vegetables to count, to get my veggie intake and but and that could be so. But really, if I'm growing a few things really well, yeah.
And hopefully what will happen, there'll be enough of us growing different kinds of food, and you're good at these 3 things, and then I'm good at 3 things, and then we can swap. You can set up the crop swaps in your town, and then you can swap. So there's no money exchange. I actually have gone away from thinking about I have to grow everything, because that's ridiculous.
Right.
Like our climates are all different things thrive in different parts of around the maunga. So just really sticking to what you're good at, buddying up with another person that what they're good at, and then just exchange. You need some silver beet? Cool, I've got plenty.
Well, Te Rawanake, I'm not sure if you know Kui Te Rawanake. She's been talking about this, mentioning this for some years now, and talking about their crew who live in Normanby. Like, what if one of us was just really good at growing strawberries, and then the next one was really good at growing corn, and then we're all just swapping around and giving each other what we can, that's not even really hard, eh?
No,
I think I'd have the easiest job. Yeah. I mean, I'm only going to grow silver beet. How hard is that?
All
but,
good.
Could it could it work in a way that you'd get to a point where you just, this is what I'm thinking, that I would grow it and then I'd leave all of my toinga that I wanted to share out is for my sharing out just at my front gate. And people could come, grab what they need, and then maybe they'd leave something. Do you envision that sort of is that part of the vision?
So in Waitara, I've set up, I'm doing a bit of being focused on this town, my town here. So we set up a crop swap. It's every 4 weeks on a Sunday. It lasts about an hour and a half. And it's just, everyone's welcome. It doesn't cost you anything. You bring what you've got. So you've got silver beet and rhubarb, awesome. I might have some capsicums and some kaiwa. And then everyone just swaps. You just take home and you end up coming home with a whole kete full of kai. And then what also happens is you swap information. It's a bit like recipes, you swap seeds or, hey, I don't know, things that gardeners talk about. And there's this beautiful sharing that goes on. Now, I believe that is the future. There's no putia.
Yeah.
It doesn't take all day. You end up coming home with a kete full of kai, which makes you feel abundant, and you've shared some stuff because you've got way too much silver beet. So you've given some away. So you really feel good about giving away, and you feel okay. You feel great about receiving as well. I think that is the future, and we're good at it. Actually, we're really good at it as Māori.
Because you're receiving someone's hard work too, right? And you're receiving, it's just more authentic. I had a question in my mind just a minute ago. So you get how many? Oh no, that's where I'm going. So you talked about at the beginning about COVID, COVID-19 having an effect on thinking about this, and then last year as a result of the first lockdown, seeing kai roll out, and obviously this idea has come, or not idea, the project has begun. What did you guys see? What made you, what led you to here?
Yeah, well, I had lots of thoughts going on through last year's lockdown. It was, it was a really inspiring time because we had time. But actually, I must acknowledge the iwi. They'd already written it into their Taiao environment management plan. So it's actually one of their strategies. Is part of the Te Whenua is Te Tāngata as well. Oranga Whenua, Oranga Tāngata. So it's written in their strategic plan. And this is them starting to roll out what their people had said they want.
Yeah.
So, it's really driven from the whānau of Taranaki iwi. And it's, for me, I think it's high vision. It's creating a solution for a problem. And
totally.
I don't actually think people realise once you start growing food, all sorts of other things come right. Because you save money, you're healthier, you become an activated kaitiaki. You're not just talking about it, you're actually activating. You start to recycle more, you start to compost more at home. So all of your waste gets tailored and you're not creating waste for the council to pick up. So there's all these little side effects that happen. Plus you become healthier and happier, and then you start to network with other people like that. And eventually we can start trading around the maunga with kai, just like we used to.
Yeah. That's exciting. That is exciting. And I think back to when we were doing kai oranga. So everybody, Pounamu was one of our tutors, actually lecturers for kai oranga, which we did through Te Whenua Arangi. And Pounamu, along with others, I interviewed Tāne Manu last week, another one who was teaching. And I managed to get my waste down to half a black bag, like not even half actually, just the bottom of the big black bag per week of rubbish while I was on kai oranga. So I can vouch e te whānau for that. I mean, in regards to the growing of the kai, I still stuck to what I knew, like the silver beet and stuff like that, but it did make me far more aware of just the plastic, the packaging. I think it was the packaging and even the milk bottles, like Those 2-litre milk bottles, man.
We need to shift away from plastics because endocrine disruptors, have you heard about that? So these are toxins in the environment, such as plastic, such as deodorants and shampoos that are full of chemicals. They're actually messing with our hormones, our taonga of our tinana. So part of my education is always around, hey, get off that stuff. Stop buying it, We'll teach you how to make DIY everything, which is natural and cost effective, and it stops messing with your hormones, because so many of our wahine are turning up with fibroids or polycystic syndrome or whatever it is, infertility, and a lot of it's because of environmental impacts. So it's not just about growing kai, it's about coming back to nature, living more naturally, being more conscious.
Oh boy, here we go, whānau. We're going down the rabbit hole. And we love it. But these are things people have to take seriously when we're talking about it affecting women's health, reproductive systems. Whānau, we need to be far more aware, I think, and we talked about it. I've talked about it with other whānau too. Our consumerism culture that we have, we're addicted to it. Yeah,
it fills us up, makes us feel better.
Yeah,
I remember when I was really miserable, quite a while ago now. I used to go to the warehouse. I used to fill myself up with stuff, and then you go, that was expensive. I feel better for 5 minutes, and now I'm back to being miserable. So it doesn't, it's not long lasting, it's not sustainable. And then when you shift house, remember, you go, whoa, where's all the stuff? Why have I got so much stuff?
Yeah.
Still in its package, didn't even use it.
Oh my gosh, whānau.
We talk about gardening, but
No, but I mean, it all connects, right? And I guess you will end up talking about this with the whānau too. But just to pull it back a little bit more, because we will head back there again, for those of you who are listening in. So at the moment we are talking about Tātai Tāngata ki Te Whenua, and I do want to acknowledge that name, what the program is called. That is, boy, we're talking about grounding people, to papa tuanaku, and what better way to do it, whānau?
Yeah, it's a really simple. Sometimes the simple things in life are actually the best, and I think gardening's one of those things. It's really humble, it's not flashy, but I love this came out of my brain, putting the sovereignty back into kai, putting the resilience back into kai. So you take control of it, you start to take control of what you eat for your whānau, how it's growing, the seeds that you're choosing, not genetically modified, that you're not going to spray your kai. Of course you're not, because you're going to feed it to your tamariki. So the sovereignty comes back. You're in control of it, and you're also in control of your health, because that's a consequence of starting to eat better as you get better health. And then being outside, you get rid of that stress, like the stress that we carry in modern society needs to go, because it's messing with our health.
Yeah. So look, another reason why I think it's great is there's no assessments or anything of the sort. It's a learning opportunity.
We're not accountable to an institute or a wānanga. We're accountable to ourselves firstly, and to each other. I'm going to have fun with you. We'll be doing some photo journaling and sharing your success and progress. I'll probably throw in a few competitions to share some books that I've got here. We like a little bit of competition, I think, as a whānau. So we'll have a little bit of bit of fun, bit of banter, competitions. Well, I'm thinking we'll do MasterChef. So when we
Oh,
at the end, we'll do a bit of a MasterChef, like, so each
yes.
or something will cook a kai, and we'll do a taste test, and we'll have a celebration of the end of the season.
Well, that's awesome, because remember we had to, but I think you were overseas.
That was so good.
Yeah, Tane reminded me that we all had a kai, a kumara. I think everyone had kumara, or some of us had something or other, and we had to make a different type of dish with it. And I got dessert. I actually chose that category too. I don't know what I was thinking, but luckily for me, one of my friends is a chef. yeah. I had that. I kind of thought, well, you can do a pumpkin pie, right? Kumara's sweet, but I just did another twist. But what it does is it does get you out of thinking, like he said too, of, okay, vegetables are just for boiling, because so that's what the people are going to learn, different ways of
we'll
eating.
do a big session in the kota. So as the season moves towards more harvest, so then we'll bring it into the kota, and I'll cover like raw and steamed and smoked and all those good things that you just expand your genre a little bit. Think a little bit wider of what to do with all the produce.
Awesome.
That you I know. I don't know how it will happen. It'll be like online in my kota, but that's cool. We'll figure it out.
So is it just you delivering the program, Pounamu, or have you got some mates alongside you?
So my Rawenia Leatherby's my number one teammate. And of course, Raymond Tuta has been really supporting heaps to get this up and running. No, I'm hoping to invite a lot of my graduates to come in and share. Yeah, because you don't want to see my face for 6 months, gosh. So like, watch this space, you Kaioranga graduates. You'll be coming to share your knowledge. So I'm big into that, like successions. It's not about me. It's about what do people do with this knowledge and how do they share it with their whānau. So you're a graduate, you're an alumni. So I'll be inviting you in to talk about something how to grow silver beet.
Oh gosh, I better up my game by then. 101 ways to cook silver beet, whānau. I've got it for you. Oh, that's awesome. So, I always look to, I watch all of our iwi because I'm always interested in what everyone's up to. And I love the Taranaki approach to their kaitiakitanga. I love what they're doing with the young people in schools and, getting their kōrero about waterway pollution and all of that out straight through the mouths of babes, basically. Taking the kōrero to the schools, the kids are going back to their parents and making their parents aware, because to be fair, I think this gen's a little bit more probably aware of the effects that we are having on Papatūānuku. And I just think what you guys are up to is pretty cool, it's sharp, very sharp. And to know that they have already written it into their strategy, and to be delivering on it, it's just it's exciting, it's heartening, it's innovative, and it's like I don't know how to say, it's not, I mean, this is so cliche, but it's like hopeful, and you're just waiting to see it, because for ages we've been watching the same ones of you, trying to get everyone on board, trying to get them around, but now for the iwi approach, instead of it just being groups within communities, now for it to be an iwi-wide approach, I
do not know any other iwi doing this. It's super cool, and I'm so proud of us, and we'll, this round is I guess you're the guinea pigs, but we'll be awesome guinea pigs. And I really want to encourage an evaluation to go side by side. So, we can tell stories of whānau from the beginning I knew nothing about growing kai, and then here I am 6 months later, and this is what I'm growing. And this is what my whānau are eating. You know, I want to tell that story. I want to come back to your show in 6 months and show some of that, document, you know, tell some of those stories. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love that. And
abundant.
and get some what are they called? Not confessionals, but you know, when people get some people on testimonials, confessionals. Yeah. I confess about my food growing my food growing addiction I now have.
Yeah. I want you all addicted to growing kai instead of fast food.
Yeah, buying the sugar hit. So just before we wrap up, because I heard something very early on that just caught my attention, but it's not something I haven't heard from you before. You're going through a 15-day fast at the moment.
21-day plant-based cleanse.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, so I don't know about you, but winter, you know, being at home through level 4, we kind of was eating a lot actually, or me and my whānau. And I started to feel aging creep in. Oh my gosh, I said it out loud. So it's just like, God, what's this? You know, everything's a bit stiff and not really working that well. So I just went, right, I'm going to do this, give myself this gift to get into spring, into the spring season, because I know in gardening season you're quite busy and you're quite physical. And so I just thought, right, I'm going to cleanse for 21 days. I take porridge in the morning and then a smoothie and the lunchtime break and then a soup at night. So no chewing required. It's all liquid actually, and it's just based on pre-digestible nutrition. So I've been a bit hungry, but I've been drinking way more water to, you know, compensate that. Feeling amazing, like really clear in the head, and like got more time because I'm not cooking. So suddenly like takes like 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes to make the soup. 5 minutes to make the smoothie, you know, 10 minutes to make the porridge. So way less time in the kitchen. It's been really good. And it's just a really gift to yourself. Yeah.
And so is your darling having to embark on this 21-day journey with you? Or
well, my daughter decided to come on the journey with me, but no. No. So there is meat being cooked in the kitchen. I come in for a look, but that looks nice, and then I just disappear because I can't handle it. You know, it's like, the smell of delicious food. Yeah. So I mean, it's about discipline for me because food is my weakness.
Yes.
Seafood, want it. Yes. You don't get stressed, want food. So for me, it's about getting some discipline, taking some ownership over my own self. That's why I do it.
Oh gosh, you're so good.
I'm sending all rest of the year. Just 21 days, I'm good.
That's not the point, Pounamu. We're focused on the 21 days, okay? The 21 days.
I'm excited. I'm on the last legs, you know, 5 more days to go. Already thinking about Saturday. What are we going to eat?
Awesome. But like you say, it is a gift to you. And, you know, I've heard other people talk about this too and how clear-headed that they do feel. Yes, and I'm going to leave it there because I'm not going to make any grand promises in front of, you know, my whole 20 people who watch this in the morning. Nah, just kidding. But to everybody who is out there, those of you who are registered to Te Kahui or Taranaki and you're interested in this, we're going to pop it up in the comments below, and also it should be by now featuring up top in the title part of this broadcast. And so Pounamu, it's going to be one of your kaitiaki, I guess, for this hōtaka. And you will, it's one garden per household e te whānau for anywhere in the Aotearoa. But you've got to be over 18 too, because you'd have to be registered, I believe. That's a situation. Limited spaces for now, but there will more than likely be another rollout. So e te whānau, this is what I would say. Do you want to be a part of the movement, e te whānau? Are you there?
Revolution, actually.
Tātai Tāngata ki te whenua, e te whānau, is this you? Are you part of that tātai whakapapa that is going to come from Papatuanuku, growing your own hua, cutting down on waste, contributing to our tai ao in a positive manner, and Te Kahui o Taranaki iwi, giving you a head start, basically, if you've been thinking about it. Now, there are there's different types of packs. So there's a beginner's pack down to the advanced pack too. So obviously, if you're advanced and you're already growing, then you're not going to need the beginner's pack. So you'll get a different type of pack, ne? And yeah, whānau, I'm keen to hear about it too. I might have to I'm just off to find me some whakapapa into Taranaki iwi e te whānau and get myself registered, and you'll see me in the wānanga too. I just outed myself basically there, didn't I? Nā reira, Pounamu, ngā mihi nui ki koe e hoa, mō tō tainga mai ki Wainganui, tātou katoa i tēnei wā, and this beautiful mahi, kei te mihi hoki ki koutou, ngā kaiwaka aere o te kaupapa, o te kahui o Taranaki, mō tō koutou manaki i ngā uri o tō iwi. Yeah, awesome. Just big mihi to everybody who's involved in this. I'm looking forward to the results and the journey of you all. And Pounamu will be back with me in the future to let us all know how this went and all of the gold stars that have been issued. So Pounamu, do you have anything else that you want to add before we sign off?
I think now is the time. It's a perfect time of the year, the perfect time of the season to start to grow some food. Start small if that's where you want to start, or but jump on board. We'll support you all the way. We'll be there for you, and we'll be celebrating you when you're starting to eat your first carrots or whatever it is. But timing's everything. I think this second round of lockdowns for us has really brought it to the forefront that kai resilience is important for our people. Taking back control of food, that's really important for our people, and it's where we come from actually. So it's not like it's new, and we've still got that mātauranga here on earth with us. So let's do this whānau. Let's take our own sovereignty back, and in this case, it's going to be around marakai.
There you go, whānau. Ko ngā tini whetū ki te rangi, ko tātai tangata ki te whenua, e mihi ana ki koutou o Taranaki tūturu, nā reira ki koutou katoa e whakarongo mai nei, hei ko nei, hei ko nā, tūrau, Hawaii ki.